Is it possible that Kody Brown is not having an intimate marriage with any of his wives? Could obedience and loyalty be more important to Kody than physical intimacy? I know you guys are thinking, Sarah, girl, what are you talking about? But just hear me out. Alright, you guys, as I start out a lot of my videos, I gotta say, I saw a really interesting thread on Reddit and I really wanted to talk about it. And basically, the question posed in the thread was, is it possible that Kody has become a type of incel even though he's a polygamist with 4 wives? Well, now 3 wives, but used to be 4 wives. Incel stands for involuntarily celibate, and Harper's Bazaar had this interesting thing to say about men that are classified as incels. It is worth repeating in light of this that while their loneliness may be real, incels hate women. Their existence is not about being lonely. If it was, it would be more about them all organizing fun social functions to assuage that. It is about blaming women for their loneliness. Kody definitely blames his wives for the lack of intimacy in their marriages. Remember when he had this to say about Christine?
She said, I don't want you to stay in my room anymore. My room is a special place to me and nothing special happens there for us. You know, a lot of people have marriages, they're like this, romance-free marriage. She says, not for me. So I don't want you in my room. She tells me nothing special happens in our room. Well, that's because she's murdered our intimacy with betrayal.
She murdered our intimacy? Jeez Louise, such strong language. So even though it's Kody that's the one who's denying his wife's physical intimacy, he actually frames it in a way that puts the blame on them. Mary was leaving his ass. Christina murdered his intimacy. He's even referred to Janelle as someone who's like a friend or like a brother to him. So what about Robyn? Well, the question posed on the subreddit that a bunch of people chimed in to talk about was how much physical intimacy could Kody and Robyn possibly be having? We know that Robyn is the only wife that even has a prayer of having physical intimacy with Kody, but do they ever get the opportunity? Let's look back on what Kody and Robyn have had to say throughout the show about how their kids, especially Ari and Solomon, are night owls and basically never leave them alone.
Because Ari's been weaned for a year and she's still keeping us up at night.
And she's a night owl. She doesn't like to go to bed, and she's active through the night.
I'm literally having a hard time keeping my head from wobbling. Ariella's jumping on the couch, trying to find out how high she can go. I looked in the mirror, I just see this guy that looks like bloodshot eyes. Her hair's just frazzled. Can you just go to sleep?
I had to give her the confidence to be okay with me leaving. If I got a positive result, I don't know if I'd ever be forgiven.
Kody testing negative was just such a relief because my kids are just really missing their dad. It's been 10 days and Ari barely makes it through 2.
Now, to be fair, people did chime in the subreddit saying that, you know, they have kids that are up in their business all the time as well. And where there's a will, there's a way. You can make it happen if you want to make it happen. So it's not to say that it's impossible. I just don't know if it's happening for Robyn and Kody. For one, I don't see Robyn and Kody being particularly creative when it comes to planning intimate rendezvous, but who knows? And another thing, Robyn and Kody, especially Robyn, haven't exactly parentified Robyn's oldest kids the way that we've seen that happen with Aspen and Logan when it came to child rearing. So how much are they relying on the older kids to say babysit when the nanny goes home for the day? And this brings me to my biggest question. Is physical intimacy even that important to Kody anymore? In the last 2 or 3 seasons, it's not a lack of physical intimacy that he's griping about. It's disloyalty, disobedience, non-compliance. These are all way bigger issues to Kody. And it's also been brought up that once the wives make it clear that the baby making factory is closed, that Kody sort of loses interest in physical intimacy. Well, we saw Robyn in season 15 bring up the idea of possibly having another child, but it really has never been talked about again. So how serious was that conversation? And Kody doesn't seem to be interested in wanting to add more wives that are in their prime childbearing years. So maybe Kody is content to settle down with a wife that strokes his ego, and maybe just his ego. Anyways, you guys, I saw that thread on Reddit and I wanted to talk about it because it's something I hadn't really considered before, and I thought it was a really interesting question. For me, I really believe that Kody values obedience above everything, loyalty above everything, and I think probably as the older he gets, the physical intimacy is less important than having him lauded as this infallible man the way Robyn puts him up on a pedestal. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Reality Squad, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.